We have all heard of a confident body language, so we tried to imitate the people who seemed confident because their personality is magnetic and personality is made over behavior, so it simply means to copy the behavior of the confident people. But wait, if you copy someone else's behavior without understanding what does it actually mean, then you are going to look phony, and a phony person is no better than an underconfident person. So let's understand what we mean by body language. So before attempting to imitate it, the American anthropologist Ray Bird was still who was actually a founder of Kinnear's X refrained from using body language as the catch-all term for this study. He insisted that body language is misleading since we expect a particular meaning to all our movement when it is actually a disarm of every movement and context that would convey meaning. For example, a smile is a sign of pleasure, but to smile about but to comprehend a smile as only pleasure will be totally wrong, because there are barely of smiles, sarcastic, please, tentative, submissive, etc. So if we try to deduce the conversation with just one symbol, then we're bound to make a mistake, he recommended. Instead, to understanding XXX in the conjunctions of every element in the conversation, the tone of voice, the gestures of the body, the expressions of the faces, the direction of a body part, the breathing, the proximity between the individuals, and, of course, the words they use. It is not easy to go out and learn all this today, but since we communicate in the same fashion and have always done so, where we are biologically wired to understand a lot of these signs naturally, phrases like "her presence lit up the room" or "she has an off-putting personality" are not uncommon. We don't need a degree to observe these things like a pro. Only knowing that your words are a tiny aspect of your communication will allow you to focus on the rest. Here again I will stress the importance of being conscious. So if you walk into a room unconscious of your environment, you may fail to pick up on the context of the subject matter and speak or do something that may displease your audience. To always be mindful of everything around you. Communication is an art form and must be treated with the utmost fragility. That is, if you want to be a good communicator. The advantage of being one is that you will be able to bring people to listen to you, understand you, and accept you. Trust, like we discussed before, is a basic human need, and what all communication we fail to build it. Not only is it important in your work, but also your friends, family, and random individuals you meet. So the word aura refers to the energy you bring. The energy is simply the collection of movements that you consciously or unconsciously make and are felt by the people around you. So if your behavior was positive, then the aura is positive. So if your behavior was negative, then the energy there felt was negative. Few positive gestures, but by no means definite, or a smile, open arms and legs, setting back but leaning forward attentively, etc., are registered as positive signs. But on the other hand, fidgeting with your fingers, gazing in the direction, or crossing your arms is considered negative. But, like I said, they are not ultimate. These very same cyan can be read as the opposite of what they generally mean. Parker Borger's manned prayer is that you must know your openings true at ticks in order to pick up on the fourth inconsistency. But if you are unaware of your opponent's general behavior, then you will not know that a particular behavior is natural to them or not. So this is domain information to be kept in mind. Yes, crossing your arms is generally a sign of close-mindedness, But if someone is naturally in that position, then it makes no difference if they generally keep their hands on their sides, or akimbo and have shifted that to crossing your arms. Then you may have said something to make them defensive, but all our vital organs are located around our chest, so subconsciously when we cross our hands and all them do something in front of her chest, it's in order to protect what's important from that attack. So we are involved in Marvi species, and many of the basic forms of communication are still used by our minds. Darwin suggested that many overjust words are actually here to hear it. A smile is universal, and so is a crime. So in order to leverage the potential of body language or classics, we must start listening to these clues and observing them for what they are. It is wrong to assume that a third and adjusters mean a certain thing. And then even worse, doesn't always mean those don't always have the same meaning. So in every aspect of that conversation, but if you paid attention to it, it can benefit us in the long run, because our conversation is 50% listening, and if 50% are responding to the information received, so do not jump with your interpretation of what you observed as the ultimate answer. There are many things to consider, and your only tool in this department is your set of senses, engaged with your eyes, ears, skin tone, and even your nose into this conversation. A wrinkle of the nose can mean that they are slightly disgusted either by what you said or the smell in the air. So try to understand the why of the gesture, not an exact translation of it. There are no exact translation, but the good news is that you have a blueprint for them in your personality for these exact gestures, so let your body help you in this communication, not a set of rules.